Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Second video, first pick a card reading. I am absolutely belated, excited, thrilled. The energy feels so good right now. Gonna put on some frequencies, see how that plays out. And we're going to begin. So this is going to be a pick a card reading, and I'm going to pull you guys through a very short meditation, and I'm going to pull a couple of charms. I also did something for this reading where I pulled songs for each card. So if you've never done a pick a card reading before, each of these are a separate reading entirely, and I will put the timestamps in the description. And for some of you, you already know that's my reading. I just feel drawn to it. But for others, there are multiple ways that you can choose your reading. First and foremost are the crystals. So for pile 1, we're using the Crow Oracle deck, and we have this beautiful amethyst. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. For pile 2, we have the Ethereal Visions deck with this kind of dirty, incensey, but beautiful rose quartz. The pink doesn't show up super well on camera, but it is pink. And for pile 3, we have, I believe this is citrine. It's a beautiful piece of citrine. I'm also going to pull charms, but first I'm going to give you the songs that came up for each pile. So for pile 1, we have Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, the You're Just Too Good to Be True. It has many different versions. I actually don't know who did the original, but that's your song for pile 1. For pile 2, we have Big Iron, and he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip, which I believe was written by Marty Robbins. And for the third song, we have a less known song, not a classic. Pile 3's song is Courting by Tennis. I will also include all of these in the description. They're mostly just there for sometimes extra meanings, but also if any of these songs are significant to you, that could be a sign or synchronicity for you. Okay, pile 1, let's pull some charms. Charms for, right off the bat. Charms for pile 1. Okay, I'm gonna take these guys. We have the peace sign, I believe this is a wheel, the kitty cat, super cute, reminds me of a cat, like a print blanket that I had when I was a kid, and this little heart iron. So if any of these are significant for you, that could also help you choose your reading. For pile 2, For pile 2, we have the seahorse. Cute. The crown. Immediately right off the bat, I'm hearing someone could live in the UK. The starfish. These 2 little hearts. Oh, and love. That's so precious. Look how perfectly these little charms fit, too. It's very balanced. Gorgeous. Okay, pile number 3. Charms for pile number 3. Ooh. Okay. Whew. Yeah, pile 3 has very powerful energy. I felt it. I feel like there's one more. Pile 3. Okay, what is this? Another little heart iron. There could be some synchronicities. At least I think this is. It's just an iron. I guess. It's hard to see, so apologies if you can't really see that. See what I mean? It's just like this little iron. It's really cute. But... okay, we have that. We have this angel. We have another little cat. This cat's really silly. I love him. He's very gooby. A snowflake, an eagle, and a little Mickey Mouse key. So these are all things that can help you choose your reading. And I'm also going to lead you through a little meditation. So take a deep breath. Imagine there is a little cloud sitting at the base of your spine. And when you breathe in, that cloud travels all the way up to your neck and up into your head. And then as you exhale, the cloud comes back to the base of your spine. Breathing. Let warmth and gratitude fill your body. Trust that you were brought here for a reason. Look at each of the decks. Feel the pull. And know that your intuition will lead you wherever you need to go. There is no pressure. Breathing. And you can feel free to pause the video here if you need more time, but I'm going to begin. Thank you so much. Hello, 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 pile number 1. I am so excited to begin your reading. You chose the Amethyst with the Crow Tarot deck, but we also have the Urban Crow Oracle deck by the same author. And I'm super excited to get into your reading. So I pre-pulled these cards. I may end up pulling more as the time goes on if I feel like it's necessary, but I feel like I have a pretty solid amount of cards here. And your song, just to remind you, is Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. Let's get into this. We have the Knight of Wands. I'm going to move this over here. Let me adjust the setup just a little bit so that... oh, and because we are officially beginning the reading, I am also going to light the candle. So, give your well wishes to the candle, pile 1. Oh my goodness. A little angel, like a little feather charm just fell right out. Which is very interesting because we have a lot of bird imagery in this pile, which makes sense. We've got lots of crow cards. So I really feel like birds and crows in particular could be very significant for you. So I have the Knight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. For your charms, I feel like you are ironing out a cycle, if that makes sense. Pardon me, I'm coughing. Yeah, I feel like you're ironing out a cycle, so you're bringing something to smoothness. You're trying to smooth things out or become more certain of something. And, you know, with the Knight of Wands and the Page of Swords in reverse here, maybe you're not very certain of much right now. But let's pull the rest of the cards and see. King of Cups. Beautiful. The Prince. The Forgotten Adversary. Arthur, the champion of Avalon, Golden Empress. Oof, my goodness. I will link my decks below if I remember to. Also, I recognize that this is a little crooked and I feel like it's gonna drive people crazy. But I'm scared to move my camera, so I hope that this works. Okay, from the Oracle of Delphi deck. Oh my goodness. Actually, no, we're not going to pull from there yet because the Crow Oracle deck is just buzzing, ready to come out. We have Protection, Fear, Preparation. Make sure you can still see. Waterproof. And last but not least, Scavenge. Okay, let's move these things. All right. Pile 1. I feel like you are a well of love with no one to share that love with. And I get this energy of not knowing where to go from here. Not having a clear way forward out of fear. And I feel like you are searching for something. But it's so interesting here. There's protection and waterproof, and I almost feel like maybe you've been really challenged lately, pile 1. Maybe you've experienced a lot of attacks towards you, or just a lot of really, really intense challenges. And I feel like they are things that may have normally thrown you way out of balance, but you are so protected that what it's actually resulted in is just some fear. Perhaps you were prepared for things to happen. I'm really getting the sense that it's not just one solid thing that happened, but many different things that have occurred in your life. Perhaps this is even a cycle you've experienced before. So perhaps you've just experienced these things in your past. I get the sense that this is going to be different for everybody watching, but there's also this energy of having multiple different parts of your life that have been challenged lately. Some you were more prepared for than others. And I think that due to these challenges, perhaps you have lost a little bit of confidence in yourself. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling like these have been issues relating to your personal life, your finances, your relationships. And I think that you just feel like you are so tired of searching, so tired of scavenging for scraps when you are a loving, noble person who deserves more. And I think Spirit is telling you do deserve more, but right now, whatever is happening, it needs to happen to build your confidence in yourself and your ability to pull through. I'm noticing here with this Six of Pentacles. I believe it's a Six of Pentacles, or is it? I think it's the Seven of Pentacles, actually. With this Seven of Pentacles energy, I feel like in particular, this is about your home, your nest, the things that you are working toward in personal, at-home matters. But also, this can tie into financial matters too. It could be just two things. And I think that, you know, there's also just this energy of there just being so much going on for you. Perhaps you've been... I'm also hearing for some of you, maybe you dove into something too quickly without thinking about it, and you really ended up like stabbing yourself in the foot. Like, I don't really know, like maybe you made a decision and you didn't prepare enough, because we have the Knight of Wands, which can be about hastiness and impulsivity, and the Page of Swords in reverse, which can also be about following your impulses and things going wrong. With the Page of Swords in reverse, it could also indicate that you want to start something, but you lack the clarity to actually start it. So alongside fear, it could be that you made a decision out of fear, or perhaps you're letting your fear hold you back from making a decision. And you need more preparation before you actually begin. Very interesting. You definitely have a lot of passion. I think it's just where you put that passion. You know, are you sitting on it like an egg and waiting for it to hatch, or are you getting out there and actually working towards it? Because I feel like there's also this deep element of sorrow, of feeling like you had something and you lost it. And perhaps this has stolen your confidence. The good news is that you seem to be incredibly magnetic. Like, I think that you do have the ability to get what you want. I think that you're just very scrambled, and you need a more solid foundation before you begin something. And I think that whatever's happening to you right now, particularly for those of you, sorry, this little fuzz was bothering me. Particularly for those of you who are dealing with issues with companionship, be this friendships, romantic partnerships, or even work partnerships, I feel like you are learning how to stand in your solitude in a way that is genuine to you and not always searching for something. And for those of you who are like, I'm still searching for something, well, that could be why you are put in this position where you have to be alone, because being alone will force you to go inward. And I think that there's something about yourself that you really need to know. I'm gonna pull these Oracle of Delphi cards. Mystic. No. Seek. Contemplate. Philosophize. Yeah, you have to go within. You're searching for something, but what you're searching for is outside of yourself. And I actually think that all of the wishes that you have had that did not come true were divine protection. Rejection is divine protection. And I think that you are being prepared for something that is greater than anything you could imagine. And as hard as what you're going through right now might be, you are being given the opportunity to let it slide off of your back like water. We have Shapeshifter, Medium, and Sanctuary. Relax. Everything is going to be okay. I think exactly right now you just need to take a step back. I think you really need to take a step back and get clear. Clear alone. You don't need anybody else or anything else. There's no amount of money that you need to take a step to yourself. And for those of you who are extremely busy, I hear you, I feel you. This can be as easy as during your commute, bathroom breaks. This can be as simple as your walk to and fro wherever you are going, in the shower. You know, you can make time for yourself right before sleeping in bed, right? You can take time for yourself to be meditative and take these moments where you just allow yourself to breathe, do things that are soothing for you, you know, so that when you are offered something, you have a well to give from. Because I think that, you know, what I'm feeling is that, yes, you have this overflowing well of love and all you want to do is give it to somebody. But I really actually think that, like, you have this well of love and perhaps you don't always pour it into yourself where you need to. And I think for some of you, that's something that you've been working on for a really long time. You've been trying to do this. You've been trying to love yourself, to connect with spirit, to connect with yourself. And, you know, for whatever reason, these things happen and they still ruffle your feathers. They still frustrate you. And make you feel lost or sorrowful or frustrated. But I think that right now you just need to go deeper, because, you know, I'm sensing this immense amount of frustration. You know, perhaps you feel very easily irritated lately. Little things will bother you. And I think what can help ease that a little bit, is really, really getting inward. Because your energy is so important and your inner peace is so important. There's probably I need to hear spirit. I'm gonna pull a couple cards from my self-made deck and see if I can get anything else for you. I'm hearing for a lot of you, you're still young. Like, you still have time to figure it out. And that might be what someone needs to hear. Like, you have time. You have time to figure it out. Yeah, we have young. We have time to talk. Breathe. I'm hearing breathe from In the Heights. So if you like musicals, I would definitely give In the Heights a check, especially Breathe, which is this song about Nina, who is this character who, she's a first generation college student, and she is going to college in Stanford, and she comes back to the Heights in New York, and she's like, she dropped out of school and she couldn't afford it. She was working 2 jobs and she was exhausted, and so she dropped out of school to work and to support herself. And she was just so horrified. She felt like a failure, and she was just stressing and struggling, and the whole song is just her telling herself and her loved ones telling her to breathe. And we also have Pocket, which I love that card. I think that, you know, in terms of your relationships right now, I think really what can help is communicate. Whoever you're worried about, maybe you're worried about the way someone's going to respond to something, or maybe you recently got into a fight with someone. It's going to be different for absolutely everyone. Just talk. I think that the people that are around you, especially your family members, be this like blood family or chosen family, they're going to understand you. They're going to take the time to listen to you. You are still young, you know, like, I think that you have a habit of sort of putting things on the back burner, putting things in your back pocket, tucking things away for later. And I think that when you do that, you deprive yourself of really learning the lessons that are available to you when these struggles happen and when these frustrations show up, so that you can really go inward and reflect on things and maybe find out something new about yourself. And I think that the answer to your struggles right now really is to talk about it. Talk to people, let it out. It's time to communicate what's going on. And I think that people are going to give you a helping hand, you know. It'll really help. Anything else that pile 1 needs to hear, Spirit? Yeah, I do think that for some of you, you made a mistake recently, an impulsive mistake. And I think right now you need to focus on what there is to learn from that mistake. So don't be so hard on yourself or so caught up in your fear, because there's really nowhere to go but forward. Having honest, open conversations, you know, sometimes you just have to let it slide off of you and move forward. And that's all you can do. Yeah, we have blame. Maybe there's nobody to blame. Maybe it was just a frustrating situation. And even if you did make a mistake, you know, try not to blame yourself too hard. Or blame others too hard if you were betrayed or you betrayed someone else. You know, you're not a perfect machine. You're not a robot. You don't have an algorithm. Like, you're not made to be perfect. So don't hold yourself to unattainable standards of perfection. You know, extend the same love that you have for life and for others to yourself. That's really important right now. I don't think that you are forgotten in any way by the people who care about you. I think that there's a huge chance that they don't know what's going on in your life. And it's really important that, you know, if there's something going on for you, that you tell the people who love and care about you, because otherwise they won't know and you can't expect them to know. I think that, you know, with the song, you know, you're just too good to be true. Maybe you think that there are things in your life that are too good to be true. But like, I think you need to allow yourself to have joy and happiness, because good things that come are real. Also, I thank God I'm alive. I feel like you do have a lust for life. And I think that you can let that bring you into the space that's going to help you heal and learn. Okay, absolutely. I feel like there's something over here that I missed. Didn't get a chance to really look at. I think that you give a lot of yourself to other people. You really enjoy being someone who people can depend on. And I think that that's why it's so important that you take time for yourself, so that you can present your best self to people, you know? And I think that if there's whatever project it is that you want to work on, or something that you want to manifest or bring to life, whatever it is that you made this decision on, impulsive or not, even if it didn't follow through, I think that the reason it didn't follow through was because maybe you were unprepared. Even if you felt prepared at the time, maybe you were just unprepared. Maybe you had too much fear and you had too many things that you were still working on for it to fully follow through. And once you work on those things, you will be able to magnetize towards you what you want a lot easier, and they'll come to you a lot quicker. I think just make sure you don't self-sabotage by focusing only on the bad things that are happening to you right now. I also think that maybe you were not always this loving. Maybe you did not always have this much love inside of you, but now you do. And that can be a little bit hard to navigate too. So I really think that the overall message, when I said that, I felt like my heart literally skipped a beat. So maybe something is happening in your life that is making you question the way that you love, the way that you interact with other people. And maybe you just have more love now than you ever did before. And I think it can be very hard for you to convey that in words. And so sometimes you say and you do the wrong things. But like I said, you are still young, whether or not that's in a spiritual sense or a physical sense, you have time is the overall meaning here. And you have time to focus on these things and really acknowledge them. Yeah, you need to restore yourself to yourself. I think that for a lot of people, it's in their darkest hours, their most potent struggles, that they really understand their true selves. And, even the greatest warriors do not battle alone. And I think that you are someone who gives so much to others, but faces your battles alone. And I think right now you're just being called to ask for help, talk to people, seek that support, so that you have it, breathe, forgive yourself, forgive others, and move forward. You can't change the past, but you can make decisions in the present that lead you towards a future that is closer to something that you can be happy with. You can live in the present moment. I really think Spirit is just really urging you to talk to people. That's your message. Talk to people. Even if it's just your cat, even if it's just your angels and your guides, talk to somebody, But I really feel like it's somebody in your life that you need to talk to. I know this reading was a little bit vague, but I feel like that's because I'm talking to a couple of different people. So I really hope that you got what you needed out of this reading. And if it was helpful for you, please leave a like, a comment. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And that is your reading. Thank you so, so, so much, Pile 1. Hello, 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 Pile 2. You chose this beautiful rose quartz and the Ethereal Visions tarot deck. There's lots of love vibes in this reading. I got some really funny messages while I was pulling your charms that I'm not going to say because they were a little bit raunchy, but they were very silly. I think that the energy I'm getting is just very fun. You might be a very fun person. You like to joke a lot. Sometimes too much. And yeah, there's lots of energy here. It's a little flirty. So if that's a synchronicity for you, great. If not, let's look into your cards and see. Let me remove these. These are from pile 1. Oopsie. Okay, King of Swords is an interesting card to come out sideways, I will say. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Ooh. Let's not drop the camera. Temperance. Five of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. That's really interesting. We got Knight of Swords in reverse in the last reading too. Actually, no, it was Page of Swords. It was Knight of Wands in reverse. Lots of slow-moving things. Lack of action, I'm noticing, in the collective. Let's move this up a little bit. All right. Oh, also, your song was Big Iron. He's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip. Maybe you're here to do some business. Or maybe that's just a song that means something to you. I definitely would look at the lyrics. See if that means anything extra for you. Perhaps you are a bit of an outlaw yourself. Be told, all that glitters is gold. So many protection messages here, babe. Oh my goodness. These all... That's so funny. These are all protection messages. I'm gonna wait to pull these guys for later. All right, let's get into it, pile 2. I think you're trying to balance yourself out right now. Something in your life is just so unbalanced. It's really funny because everything is in reverse except for Temperance. Which is just a very interesting energy. It's a very similar energy to pile 1. So if you felt called to pile 1, a couple of you might want to head over there. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Something fell through for you very recently. I feel like this is an extremely recent energy. It's something that you were working on, something that you were very passionate about, that you went towards very passionately, and it did not go through, and now you are figuring out how to recover from what didn't go through and focus on what is there, because this is reversed. And so I really do feel like this is about like gently recovering and learning how to let go of the things that did not work out. So I don't feel like you are wallowing in it per se, but you are very disappointed. And you know, Temperance is about balance. So it's really funny to see all of these imbalanced cards, all of these cards in reverse, and then balance right in the center. So I really do, you are trying your absolute best, and I really want to give you a little bit of applause, because that is really hard when, you know, things go wrong in your life and you're like, oh my god, but you remain balanced anyway. I feel like you're just trying to find harmony and focus on the good things, and in spite of all the horrible things. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that for some of you, this was a relationship that didn't work out. And it would make sense. We have love here. We had that flirty energy. And I feel like it was something that brought you a lot of joy. Maybe it was a connection with somebody that brought you a lot of joy and it just fell through. And now you're like, well, was any of it real? Was anything about it real? Like, that's just messed up. And I feel like this isn't the first time this has happened to you. And you're like, why does this keep happening to me? You know, why have I been put down this path again? Like, maybe for some of you, I feel like you've even done readings on it, and the reading said that it was going to go a certain way, and then it didn't. And perhaps you're struggling with your faith a little bit because of that as well. Because you're like, but when I did a reading on it, they said that this person was my twin flame. And my intuition was always telling me that this person was the one. And now the relationship is over or ending, and I don't know what to do with that because I feel betrayed, because my spirituality told me it was this way, and now all of a sudden it's not this way, and I don't know how to cope with that. And I feel like Spirit is reminding you that sometimes we are guided down specific paths because they are meant to happen. And it is true, once in a while, your guides will tell you what you want to hear so that you go down a specific path, even though there is a chance that it will not work out. Sometimes it is just reading the energy of the current moment, and sometimes it is specifically steering you in a certain direction. I'm being called to talk a little bit about the ways that this can show up, particularly in creative ventures. So let's say, for example, you get into a relationship with this person, and they really inspire you. They're totally your muse. You are completely enamored with them. You're so in love, and you write them like multiple songs. And when you feel it in your heart, you're like, oh, I love this person. I genuinely think they are the one for me. You know, everything seems to be going so great. I'm writing them these songs. They inspire me. And then you break up and you feel so desolate and hopeless and sad, and you don't understand why it ended, because you thought that they were the one. Everything in your gut and your soul and your spirit told you they were the one. And you write some of the most heartbreaking breakup songs. And then you realize, oh my God, I love making music. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And those songs that you wrote about that person end up being some of your best songs that launch you into a career or something, right? In that case, it would make a lot of sense why Spirit would guide you in the direction to be like, yes, they are your soulmate. You're gonna write the best song ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not inherently lying. They're just guiding you towards something that they know will be good for you long term, or something that will teach you something that your soul needs to learn long term. And also, you know, it's important to remember that, like, we are bound by time in a way that Spirit is not. And sometimes when things happen, it was a 1 out of 10 chance that it would happen. Maybe in 9 other realities, you and this person ended up together, but unfortunately you ended up in the one where you didn't. But it could be fortunate too. You have so many options moving forward in your life. There are millions and millions. There's an infinite amount of ways anything can go at any point in time. That is the gift and the curse of free will. You know, we have free will. The person or thing that you wanted has its own version of free will as well, as you do. And our decisions impact things. So somebody was hasty, maybe a little impatient, and jumped on something too quick. I feel like you're also trying to balance perhaps some old cruel responses. Maybe you have a problem maybe with like an old habit or trauma response of being mean when you get upset. So you're trying to balance that a little bit because you don't want to, I'm hearing, rehash anything with people or take it out on somebody who doesn't deserve it. I also think that for some of you, you were wronged, and if so, the truth is going to come out very soon. Yeah, we have the goddess of prophecy here. So I think that maybe you also knew somewhere deep in your gut a while back, you knew something like this was going to happen. But I definitely think that all of this was meant. This was meant to happen. Whatever it is that has happened, it was meant. And I think that there's a lesson here about not chasing things that run from you. There's nothing romantic about things that don't want you. Yeah, we have the goddess of justice too. I really think that truth is going to come out. It's going to come out in a balanced way. If you were wronged, trust that is not going to go unseen and unheard by spirit or by, I'm hearing, the people that are around you, like your friends, maybe this person's friends, maybe this person themselves if they did you wrong. I'm feeling for a lot of you this is a relationship, but it could be like other things for other people, in which case, you know, take it as it resonates, right? Or like translate it. So if I'm talking about a relationship and your experience is something to do with your career or just a friend, or something else, you know, feel free to adjust the message to fit whatever's happening in your life. But I really do feel like, you know, whatever this was, it was not all that it painted itself to be. And perhaps people even lied. And I think that justice is coming for that. The scales will even out. Things will be balanced. Balance is just such a huge message in this reading. And once again, I like I said earlier, I really feel like this is a pattern for you. Something about this is something that's repeated, and this is the final straw. This is what breaks the pattern. Maybe you're a little scared to change, but I really think that right now change is something that you absolutely have to do. I'm really feeling called for this card in particular to read the protection message that is in the guidebook, because this deck has an absolutely beautiful guidebook that is so filled with wisdom. Make sure it can be read. There are conditions brewing in your life you have no control over. Don't fight them. Change is inevitable and is for the best, for the highest good. Even if this storm blows away the structures you think you've built your dreams on, all will turn out as it should. You will have a renewed clarity and strength to do something even better. Spirit is your ally. I almost read family. So if you have lost family lately, it could be that spirit is your family right now, and that's just something you have to focus on. But really, I do feel this energy of like something you dreamed of fell apart. It was really something that you wanted, and it just did not work out. And I really do think that that's just, it's spirit pointing you in a very specific direction. And I think that, you know, you need to see your own personal responsibility for repeating lessons that you don't need to relearn. And I know that can sound really harsh, especially if you feel like you've done nothing wrong, but it might be time to get a little introspective on like, maybe you didn't do anything wrong to this person. If you did, that's something to reflect on. But if you didn't, you know, it could be the choices that you made to get here where you're like, really, am I dealing with the same kind of person again? What red flags did you maybe overlook, right? But this is a good spot to be in, because now you can see the cycles that you want to exit. You can get out of there. And I feel like there's also this underlying message about accountability. So taking accountability for things and knowing that at the end of the day, Spirit's got you. You know, whatever you believe in has you. You are completely safe. You will always be forgiven. You know, God is all merciful. even in the times where you cannot forgive yourself for certain things, whether or not it's like mistakes you have made, problems that have occurred in your life, or the way that you treat yourself or others, the way that you've repeated cycles, that space will always be held by spirit. And I'm hearing prayer, so prayer might be important. The serenity prayer might be important for you. What can you control and what can't you control? You can't control other people. Other people are not possessions. They are experiences. And, you know, once you learn that, it can make letting go of people a lot easier. Let's have 29. I think this is 29. This is 29 or 26. It's 26. Happy, happy. Happy, happy, happy. Happy, 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 happy. I don't feel like you're feeling very happy, happy, happy right now. Which is sad, because I do feel like you're a very funny person and you enjoy being joyous and having whimsy and being silly, but I just don't feel like you're feeling it right now. And I sympathize with that. It can be hard, especially if you're like known for being the funny person and you just feel really bad. That's, you know, entertaining other people is not your responsibility all the time. You know, that's when you decide you want to entertain other people, not for anybody else. You know, you may be the court jester, but you're allowed to have time to feel your feelings, you know, like, and I really think that, like, it also could be that, like, right now you need to tap into that a little bit, you know, when things feel too hopeless, have fun, try not to take things too seriously. But at the same time, you know, really try to manage that silliness alongside really feeling your feelings. Don't let it go so far one way that you're just joking about things that are actually really distressing for you. Because that's also not good, but it's also okay to look on the bright side. We have the Goddess of Inspiration. 33 may be significant for you. We have the Goddess of Wishes. And we have the Goddess of Modesty. Yeah, I think right now, really, okay, this entire thing, this entire relationship experience, whatever it's been for you, I think it really, really, really has been to give you some sort of inspiration. I'm hearing for many of you artistic inspiration. So it really could be the song thing, like I was saying earlier, but it could also be something in writing. It could be just something completely different. I don't really know what it is for everybody, but I think that it did offer you some sort of inspiration, some sort of spark. And I do think that many of your wishes are going to come true. And then there's this message here about modesty. I wonder what that's about. I'm going to pull from my homemade personal deck that I used in pile 1 a little bit because I think it's gorgeous. And we're gonna pull a couple of cards. What are we missing here? Beauty. The archive, the past. You can't really see these, actually, I'm realizing. We have beauty, the past, the archive, realities, one-sided, weary and worn. These are double-sided messages, by the way, so if you see me like flip them, that's why, because I'm trying to see which side needed to come out more. Yeah, I think that the relationship that you just got out of, and we have loss also, I'm noticing. Whatever it is that you lost, it was a very one-sided situation, whatever it was, whether it was work, friendship, relationship, romantically, it was a very one-sided relationship. And it was the kind of relationship that seems to have many different stories all in one. Like, everybody's reality of the situation is going to look different depending on who you ask. And it doesn't mean that any of them are inherently wrong, but it creates for a really complicated situation where everybody's story is different, and it kind of just boils back down to you're always going to be the bad guy in somebody else's story. We also have Lovers that just came out, and Never Ending. I'm also hearing it's raining harder, my shoes are now full of water, which I think is Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. We also have Toy, and you do not need to harden up. Your softness serves purpose and comes with its own strength. Do not let the world make you hard. Do not let pain make you hate. So I feel like you're definitely trying to balance your emotions right now. I think that it's really easy when we feel, when we are hurt so badly by somebody, that it's easy to get hard, to harden ourselves up. It's easy to, I heard you, by the way, don't laugh. It's really easy to put up walls, right? These strong walls that protect us from the outside world and cover ourselves up and never look out again. I think that another synchronicity for you is that you might dress very modestly. You might have a very modest beauty. For some of you, I'm hearing you might wear head coverings and just try to stay covered up. That just could be a synchronicity for you. You are very beautiful. You are a very beautiful person. And I think that you are very tired. This has been a really long journey with whatever it is that you've been experiencing with this experience with this person. And it almost has felt never ending. You've been toyed with so much. You've lost so much. And I really think that, it's time to let the past be the past and move forward with strength. I'm actually going to pull the tarot deck again, and I'm going to ask specifically, is there anything that pile 2 needs to know to help them move forward from this pain? The Sun in reverse. It's going to hurt for a little while, my darling. It's just going to hurt for a little while. And, that's because there's so much from the past that builds us into who we are today. And I think that this connection that you had really was a soul connection, is a soul connection. Just because you have to end something with someone does not mean that the connection wasn't real, right? People are experiences, and the connections that you have with them, just because it doesn't work out in this life, in this dimension, on this plane, here and now, does not mean that it did not have something to teach you. It does not mean that it was wrong in any way, or that your emotions or your intuition about it were wrong. If you felt like you had past lives with this person, you very well may have been right. This is the person that you thought it was. It just didn't end the way you thought it would. Queen of Cups. And you are so full of love. There's so much love here and confidence and so much to be learned here. I think that it's just going to hurt for a while because you had something really special with this person, and it's okay to be grateful for what you had. It was love. It was a really true type of love. But now you have a decision to make. And it's about cultivating your own blessings, your own strength. You can't, moving forward from this, you cannot continue to dwell on other people. You have to focus on what you can control, and what you can control is your own prosperity and your own self-love and self-worth, because you are gorgeous and you need to understand that. I feel like you do not understand how absolutely beautiful you are. When you walk into a room, you shine. And I do think I do think, let me pull a clarifying card before I say that. I do think that person saw this in you too, and continues to see this in you. I think that you make people celebrate their life. You inspire people in a way that not everybody can. I'm also hearing you have absolutely beautiful eyes or eyelashes. You just shine. And you deserve happiness. Even though you're weary and worn, you've been through so much, you still shine in such a gorgeous way. And you really need to understand that whatever happened here, maybe you struggle a little bit with self-consciousness, you have some insecurities, and I think that whatever this ending, for whatever reason this ended, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your physical appearance, your financial state. It has to do purely with the way things panned out. Different desires, different boundaries, different needs. And this ending needed to happen so that something new could be brought forth, some sort of new day. This pile 2 need to hear. And it might take a while for you to heal. It might take a while for you to feel good in your skin. It might take a while. And it's okay. Give yourself that space and that time. You know, life isn't going anywhere. You know, try not to mull in it, but look towards the future. It's okay to sit with your emotions for a little while. Just don't let it go into stagnancy. You know, like, you might be afraid, like, oh no, if I take this time to process this, I'm going to mull in it, I'm going to drown in it. I don't think that's the case. I think you just need the time to process what happened, what you lost. Because I think you lost something that was really important to you. And I think it was a necessary ending, but not an easy one at all. So you're over here trying to do some business with a big iron on your hip, but you're crying. And you're like, I can't be fucking gangster if I'm crying. Like, I'm literally gonna cry for you, pile 2. Like, and I understand. Heartbreak is so hard. And I think you're handling things really well. I think you're just trying to find this balance among all of this craziness that you're feeling inside of your heart, and this heaviness that you're feeling inside of your heart. But you know, I really do think that everything is going to turn out for the better. We have Judgment. Even though you may feel betrayed and hurt and you don't know where to go from here, Spirit's got you. Spirit can go forward with you. I know we have the Fates over here, and I'm really just being called to leave you with the guided protection message from this card. So, because I feel like that's going to give you more than any more card pulling will. It is difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery, after all. Yet, what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. Act as if you believe that, for the only thing you can control right now is your attitude. When you align with the fates, being mindful of what you can and cannot change, serenity will come to you. The serenity prayer, like I was saying earlier. I really hope that this pile was helpful for you, pile 2. If it was, please leave a like, a comment. If you're interested in a personal reading, please reach out. I wish you so much love and healing. In fact, I'm actually going to send a little bit of healing your way. This beautiful incense. Just take a few deep breaths. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. Take your time, heal. God's got you, Spirit's got you. Be gentle with yourself. Everything's going to be okay. Much love, Pile 2. Thank you. Pile 3 with the citrine. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your pile number 3. I feel a lot of really blessed energy here. Let me just cleanse the space a little with a little bit of incense we have left. Make sure there's no residual energies left from the past 2 readings. All right. Beautiful. Lots of charms to dig into. I love your energy. You are strong. I'm feeling a little bit of pain in my neck, so that might be a sign for you. Maybe you need to stretch, in which case I encourage you to do so right now. Straighten your posture, stretch to the sky. Do a big morning stretch with me. Let out a yawn. All right. Now let's get into your reading. You are so special. First and foremost, I think you are a very unique person. You are a very unique person. I think you have a very special connection with animals and to the divine. I think that you try to be very playful and connect with your inner child a lot, but you do not let it stop you from being strong. You are very strong. You're a very strong, pointed person. I feel like there's lots of messages here and you're very pumped. Or at least your guides are very pumped. So if that doesn't resonate with you, that does not mean this is not your reading. I would still stick it out. It's just the energy that I'm getting from the charms. But yeah, definitely a lot of unique energy here. Okay, let's start with your tarot. Ooh, this is the Empress in reverse. The 5 of Swords in reverse. Strength. I knew I felt strength energy here. Beautiful. The 2 of Pentacles in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The Devil. The 8 of Wands. The 4 of Cups. Pardon me. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Swords in reverse. Let me move your charms. Your charms. Hearing witchcraft and spell casting might be significant for you. And last tarot card is the Hierophant. Oof. Okay. Interesting energy. I'm feeling this energy of just having a weight on my shoulders. I don't really know what it is. I think pile number 3. You are incredibly mean to yourself. I think for all of the strength that you have, something that you lack is in your self-love. I think that you perhaps may be a little bit abusive to yourself. Maybe you struggle with a lot of self-destructive behaviors or thought patterns. And you just don't really see... I'm hearing you don't see what other people see in you. So maybe other people see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And let me check out this Five of Swords because I can't really see the image reversed. So interesting. I'm hearing, oh, there's this very specific song. I believe it's a Phoebe Bridgers song. No longer a danger to herself or others. What is this song? It's Graceland 2, I believe. Oh, and your song, I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the reading. Your song is by courting. It's tennis. So that song might be significant for you. I'll leave it in the description if you want to listen to it. I think the song itself might be significant too. It's about a transactionary relationship. So, like, one of the lyrics is, "I'm not some piggy bank. You can't just piggyback off of me. There's trade involved. I was paying you to love me." So, you know, that could be significant. Something about, like, it's like playing games with somebody playing games with you. There's a common theme in this collective of things not going as you planned them to. You had a very specific idea of how things were going to go, and they did not go that way. And that's unfortunate. It's never a good feeling. I think you might have lost something. Something slipped through your hands. Man, the energies between all 3 of these readings are so similar. I think there was conflict, and maybe you won, but you did not win. You lost, actually. It's almost giving the energy of going through an experience with someone, and you have this, like, fight, right? You have an argument of some sort. And you may have, at the end of it, felt like you won the fight, but then you went home and like realized that you being right, or being like considered right, either by yourself or other people, was not worth losing the friendship or the relationship, or the job or whatever it was. And I just get this heavy energy of regret. And I think you're a very strong person, so it's hard for you to really acknowledge when you mess up. I think that maybe you were raised in an environment, especially with the Hierophant here, maybe you were raised in an environment where you thought that strength meant power, control, being right, an authoritarian kind of respect where you aren't always questioned, for some of you. And I think that this has affected the choices that you have made in your life a lot. And I think that it has led to you losing something that actually did matter to you a lot because of a fight. For others of you, I think yeah, man, I'm really just feeling this energy of like, winning is not everything. And I think that you are aware of that, but maybe in the moment when this conflict was occurring, you were not aware of that. Winning is not everything. Physical strength is not everything. Emotional strength matters too. The strength to make the right decisions also. And I think that now you're just thrown out of balance because maybe this sparked some sort of realization within you. Things happened so quickly that now you're just like trying to process. I'm hearing Any Way the Wind Blows from Hades Town. Any way the wind blows. Maybe you have a really hard time trusting people. You've in the past you've let your guard down, and people have taken advantage of that. I'm also hearing Ireland. That's very random and very specific, but you could be from Ireland. Ireland could be significant for you. I also feel like you might be the kind of person to not rest, not give yourself the time to process your emotions because you have too much to do, but you're really not benefiting anybody by doing that. You really need to process this. You need to sit down with this, and I think you need to take accountability for whatever it was that happened. And I know that may feel harsh, but I think that it's something that you already know, and you are already harsh to yourself. And I think that to an extent, some of that harshness, there's a very delicate balance with being hard on yourself, right? Because sometimes we can be too hard on ourselves, and other times we're not hard enough on ourselves, and sometimes we're too hard on ourselves in some areas and not hard enough on ourselves in other areas. And I think that you get into trouble when you are experiencing being hard on yourself without actually making the effort to change your behavior. So say you know you can be cruel, or you know you have bad and self-destructive habits, and instead of working towards healing and unpacking why it is that you struggle with these self-destructive habits, you shame yourself and bully and berate yourself for engaging in those habits without actually discovering the root issues and learning how to cope and heal and finding new coping skills. And when you do that, you're not helping anybody at all. you are making it worse, in fact, because healing does not happen out of shame. It happens out of love. The more you learn to love yourself, the more healing happens. The more you shame yourself and work out of a place of shame, you cannot shame yourself into healing. That's not how that works. It's the opposite. And I think that it's no fault of your own. You were just raised in an environment where that worked off of shame very heavily, but now you're being given the opportunity to think of things differently. The Heart Eater. 13 could be significant for you. Broken and Hatched. That is a powerful card to get here. I really feel like right now you are being broken so that some new version of you can hatch. I think that when you love something, you want to devour it. And I think that you are the kind of person who loves a lot of things. There's something I said in pile, I think it was pile 2. I said, people are experiences, not possessions. And I think that can be important for you right now too. Left Out with the Wolves. Make sure you can still see. Yeah, you can still see. The Sword. I'm gonna save these. I feel like that's enough right now. And I'm still new to this deck, so I actually am going to use the guidebook for the Iris Oracle deck, which is this beautiful rainbow one. I actually found this in a thrift store. It is absolutely beautiful, and I'm obsessed with it. Okay, I'm curious about 77, the Sword. Hang in there with me, y'all. We're just checking out this meaning before I start talking. You are the creator of which direction you go, which season you live in, your birth and rebirth and birth and rebirth again. You hold the sword in power. You have control, and you can use your sword to protect yourself in constant transformation. You can also use the sword to hurt yourself or hurt others. So I feel like this is about having your fate be in your hands. Your words and your actions are so powerful, and you're being called to really put that into consideration right now, because you can use your words and your actions for so many different things. You can use them to hurt people, you can use them to hurt yourself, and at the end of the day, that is something that you do have control over, even if sometimes you feel like you don't. And I think right now you're being called to see things from new perspectives, and I think that there was a rude awakening, I think that this entire experience was a rude awakening for you. I think that you sort of got smacked in the back of the head. Something happened that made you reconsider how it is that you function in the world, in relationships, in every part of the way that you exist in the world. It's something called you into question about it. But that which breaks you has also set you free. And I think right now you are being called to leave your comfort zone behind. And, there are things that were torn down and destroyed in the process, but even though that is difficult, I think that it's aided you in hatching and in starting this new life that is going to be a lot healthier for you. I'm also hearing that if you continue on the path that you were on now, I'm not a medical professional, just keep that in mind, but I think that you will definitely get health issues. You continue on the path that you have been on before this rude awakening and continue behaving in that way. And if you do not take this awakening as a chance to really think about where you want to go in your life, I think that you might struggle with health issues in the future, whether it's because of chronic stress or the choices that you make. I really think that they will make a very big impact on not just your emotional life, but your physical life as well. I think that whatever you're doing right now, living this way is not good for your health. I think that right now you feel like you are in the dark and you're not really sure, like, if you're gonna get eaten alive. Like, you don't know what's out there. And that could just be this new beginning, like not knowing what's out there. But you have been left out with the wolves to learn from them. How to live amongst them without being hurt. How to imitate their ways. I think that this whole experience is telling you to overcome your fears. And from that, you're going to learn a lot of very valuable tools that will help you move forward. But unfortunately, it really requires that you really break down some of the internalized belief systems that you have that really are not serving you. Even if it's the way that you were raised, I don't think that it's serving you at all. I think that it's very toxic for you. And I think that this all work and no play, or I am strong so I don't take the time to actually experience my emotions, because that's like, for some of you, just not your understanding of strength. For those of you who identify as men, it could be that you don't view that as masculine, because I am feeling a very masculine energy. It could be for some of you that you were just raised by very masculine people. And so I'm just like surrounded by people who don't take the time to feel their emotions. It's definitely not a man thing only, for sure, but I do know that, you know, we live in a society we live in a society that really especially here in America, which is interesting because I'm bringing back the eagle over here from the charms. You know, there's this message here about how, you know, our society cultivates and treats emotions, but particularly in men. You know, I feel like in all areas, but men in particular aren't taught how to deal with their emotions. And honestly, women in our society aren't either, for the most part. I think that our society just has, particularly in the US, has a really hard time with that. It does not have to be US centric. You could be from anywhere, but if you are from the US, that could be meaningful for you. Politics could be meaningful for you as well. Right now, we're in a very rough time here in the US. And that could be impacting what you're going through right now, as it is with everybody else. And I think that, you know, right now you're just being called to rethink the way that you have been thinking about things. And I think whoever you are and however you identify, the message is the same, that you really need to learn how to not put your emotions on the back burner. I really feel like pile 2 might be significant for you, if you want to go and check out pile 2, but only if you feel called to. But pile 2 had a very similar reading in the sense of not putting their emotions in the back pocket per se, and hiding it away for later. I think you need to learn how to deal with your emotions and not just repress them. Not just go, I'm too strong to deal with this, you know, like, I'm strong, I can push through, and then never actually letting your emotions sit and process them and figure out, why do I feel this way? And then they fester and fester and fester, and you blow up, and that's why you blow up. I'm hearing, there's something that I say a lot. I have this opinion that I've expressed quite a lot, and I'm hearing it right now as I'm reading, and it's children who were not allowed to have healthy tantrums and safe tantrums, like children that could not have safe tantrums when they were little, turn into adults that throw tantrums without knowing how to regulate their emotions and take it out on everybody else. And I think that might be the case for you. Maybe you just, you know, and this isn't like to diss you or anything at all. It's just a sad truth that, like, in most places in the world, children cannot have healthy, safe tantrums. We, as a collective society, do not understand enough about child development and to understand that tantrums are a natural response to big emotions felt for the first time. And for most children, they were severely abused, belittled, berated, and shamed for experiencing emotions heavily for the first time, and tantrums became an unsafe space. So any sort of uncomfortable emotion, most people do not know how to deal with because they were never taught it when they were children. And I think that your inner child needs so much healing, because I feel like for the collective that I'm talking to in pile 3 right now, you were never given that safe space to actually feel your emotions as a child. You might have been yelled at or hit or spanked, and maybe up until recently you didn't realize how much that affected you. But I think where you're at right now, you really need to understand that that did affect you. And that's not just for your own healing, but for the healing of future generations as well. I think that your guides, your ancestors, spirit, God, you are being told that you are the first step in ending a generational cycle so that it does not continue onto your children and your children's children. And it is a cycle of not being able to express your emotions in a healthy way that has led to, actually, whether or not you view it as such or not, a cycle of abuse and shame. And I think that you're being given the opportunity to end that now, so that you no longer have to feel this shame, this lack of confidence, this self-destructive behavior. It's ending generational curses. The gallery of those who came before. Dude, what was I just saying? Like, you know, those that came before you also struggled with this, and you have the opportunity now to end it because you know better. You are learning better. Just by watching this, you are knowing better, and it's up to you to decide what you're doing from here. In Between Worlds, 55. I really do feel like, you know, you are... You have... Once you can heal this part of yourself, I actually feel like you have an ability to knit together groups of people that literally you could not imagine. Like, I'm like, to an extreme extent, like the bridge building that you are capable of once you work through this trauma and heal is crazy. I think you have a very special gift of bringing people to a middle ground, and that is so needed in our world right now. Like, you have no idea how important you are spiritually and here in this physical 3D world. So spiritually, you may be somebody who walks between. You may be someone who has been able to deal with both the dark and the light. I'm hearing for some of you, you may have worked in the criminal justice system, which is really specific, or maybe know someone who has, or maybe you have been incarcerated before, or have loved ones who have been. I'm hearing like, I'm definitely getting like prison energy, in some way, shape, or form. So you have that kind of experience or know about that, or at least someone in the collective does. And for one of you, maybe you are, this is so specific. So this is definitely not going to resonate for everyone, but I feel like for one of you, perhaps you used to be very, like, if you are American, perhaps, you used to be very far right. I'm hearing for some of you, maybe, like I said, you worked in law enforcement, and maybe you realized, perhaps even rather recently, how horrific the state of the country is, and how horrific the state of our criminal justice system is, and our law system, and how absolutely horrifying everything is that's happening in the world right now. And of course, you know, everybody is entitled to their own beliefs, but like, I think that it is abundantly clear what is happening right now in the world. And there's a lot of hatred, and there's a lot of bad energy, and there's a lot of really vile stuff happening right now in the world. And I think that you are someone who has experienced what it's like to be on both sides, and I think that you can play such a huge role in waking people up. If that did not resonate with you, do not worry. That was a passing message for someone else. If it did, you know who you are, right? Either way, the collective that I'm talking to has an amazing ability to find middle grounds between people, between groups of people. This could be very interpersonal, or this could be very broad. Cosmic exploration. Yeah, for some of you, it is extremely spiritual. I think that you are bringing together very different groups of people, like spiritual families. Like, this is gonna get pretty deep, but like soul families that perhaps have been at war for a very long time, like different ideals that have been at war for a very long time, on the macro scale. But on the micro scale, perhaps you are bringing together groups of friends. But yeah, you definitely have this energy of just being able to find a middle ground, which I think is really special. And you use, I'm hearing for some of you, genetic memory, but you use the memories of those who came before you, be this past lives or ancestrally, to shape what you do moving forward. And I think that's why Spirit is being so hard on you right now and smacked you so hard with this unpleasant truth, because you needed to know it so that you could go forward with this very specific path that you are on. What is hidden will be revealed. Yeah, you are on a very specific spiritual path. You might not have even thought about clicking on a tarot reading before recently, and now you're like, what is going on? But I think that that's because you have some hidden truths that are just being completely revealed to you right now. And I think that it's very important that you listen, because you're about to embark on a journey. Okay, let's pull these Cosmic Oracle deck cards. Be fearless. Sacred journey. Dude, what was I saying with this cosmic exploration and sacred journey? Like, you are on a journey spiritually right now. That's why all of these hard lessons are coming at you so quickly. And it's important that, you know, you acknowledge your fears while being strong. And sometimes the strongest thing that you can do is to allow yourself to experience those fears. I heard a quote a long time ago that just has stuck with me ever since, and I think about it so often, which is, sometimes the fear does not subside and we have to do it afraid. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's even in one of my self-made decks, and I do have some cards from one of my self-made decks. We have communication, and we have strength. Strength twice is crazy. Yeah. I think that you are exploring what strength means to you in more ways than just the solid strength that society has imposed upon us in the way that we think about strength. But right now, I think your lesson is that, like, something that you're learning in your life on your path in this moment is that strength looks different very consistently. Like, strength can, like, look like many different things. And you're learning how to be strong in a different way than you're used to experiencing strength. And you'll find that this strength is much more rewarding, stable, and long-term. Like, it's something that you can actually build a foundation on. It's not wobbly. It's not fake. It's not putting on a brave face when you're really afraid. It's saying, oh, I'm scared as shit, but I'm going to move forward because this is my journey and I take ownership over it. I'm going to take ownership over my decisions, take ownership over my actions, take accountability for the places where I went wrong, and communicate that to other people. And I think that strength really lies in feeling your emotions to their fullest extent, being authentic, and communicating with people. Setting your boundaries and taking accountability can be some of the hardest things. So, yeah, and it's so brave that you're doing this. You might not feel strong, but the truth is that you are strongest in the times where you feel the weakest. It's just the way the wind blows. Anyway, the wind blows. 114, that might be significant for you. A star's light doesn't diminish when shared, it multiplies. Illuminate your path and you might become a light, a constellation that guides others. What was I saying? You are going to be this absolutely amazing light that guides others. Pardon me. Thank you, confirmation burps. Like, by releasing whatever it is that you are releasing, like, I think that maybe you're used to doing things alone also, which would make sense with some of the, like, energies that I picked up from in the past during this reading. And I think that this is just a reminder that when you share your light, it doesn't diminish you at all. It might be very scary to speak out, but it will be worth it. Reground and realign. Yeah, definitely take some time to feel your emotions, man. Take your time. Take your time. The truth. You're ready for spiritual transformation. What is hidden will be revealed. Hit the books. Find truth. 122 could be significant. The agony of waiting transforms into the thrill of possibility. As the gates open, seize the day and the opportunities. And you have the blank card. You are, oh my goodness, you are creating a fresh beginning for yourself. You have a blank slate, a new page, and a new life just waiting for you. You have like so much possibility open to you right now. Like, the gates are open. It's time for you to seize the day and seize this opportunity. Now, it might be scary, but you are still being called to seize this opportunity as it lays before you because you're ready for transformation. Like, I think the next step for you right now really is to just get out into nature, if possible, and sit for a while and let the mind go quiet. And I think in that space, you will find so much truth. If there are any spiritual texts you have been reading or thinking about reading, this is a confirmation. Yes, do read them. Any spiritual paths you've been thinking about taking that feel maybe a little bit different than what you have explored before, yes, take it, understand it, hit the books. You will learn so much about yourself. If you're thinking about taking up a new spiritual practice, of any kind, this is a confirmation to go for it. If you're thinking about speaking out, this is a confirmation to go for it. Communicate with people. Take accountability where you've messed up. Understand other people's perspectives. Understanding many perspectives and having empathy for people of all walks of life is so important for you on your path. You are meant to be a light that guides others. You are meant to be somebody who takes opposite sides of a fight and joins them together in hands of joy, of celebration, of prayer, of praise. It's just a beautiful energy that you have. You're just working through some stuff. And I think that once you acknowledge the cycle that you're in right now and the pain that you put upon yourself, and you make that active decision to end that cycle, you're going to feel like you have so much direction and so much possibility ahead of you. I do feel like I want to pull one more card for you, but I don't know what card to pull. I'm going to pull from one of my self-made decks, which is very similar to this one. It looks almost identical, it just doesn't have numbers. I'm going to pull from that deck, if I can find it. Where did it go? If I can't find it, maybe it's not the one to pull. I genuinely have no idea. Oh, there it is. I was like, where'd it go? Found it. Okay. Let me shuffle it a couple of times. Last message for pile 3 before we end the reading, please. What does pile 3 need to know? You have a choice. Yep. I think there is another message here about love, your relationships. Perhaps you used to believe that you had to like almost like humiliate yourself for love. This is a really interesting energy. I don't really know what to make of it. But either way, you had a very toxic understanding of love. Like you felt like for love, to be loved, you had to knock yourself down or something like that and put your partner on a pedestal. And I think that right now you're being called to really look at why you feel that way. We also have anger and blood. Maybe you feel like if you love somebody, you literally you love them so much that you feel like you have to rip yourself open to be worthy of their love. Or that there's also another message here that's saying like you perhaps oftentimes feel like love is something you have to bleed for. Love is something that you have to work for. You have to earn being loved by people, and that's not the case. You don't have to earn being loved. That's something that just comes naturally. It's not something that you have to earn. You also may be afraid of hurting other people, hurting the people that you care about. I think that this is all just like a really strong call to think about it. This is also a reference to the song, I think it's just called Think About It by Leith Ross. It's a really good song. But it's basically about like feeling like if someone came to you, 20 years down the line when you're already married and had like kids and stuff, like if they came to you then, even when you promised to commit, you'd at least have to think about it because that's how much you love this person. And I think that like if there's anybody that you feel like that about, or something that you feel like that about, where you feel like 20 years down the line you're really gonna regret it, I think about it now before you lose that chance. You have a choice in your life, so whatever that is, you have a choice, and you don't need to like self-flagellate, is that the word, to like be loved. And I think that, if you're scared of hurting someone, you have the choice. We have soldier. You could have been in the military, or you could have had a lot of past lives in which you were a soldier, or you were just you grew up with a very soldier-like mentality. We also have soul split. One becomes more. So perhaps where you're dealing with soul family here, somebody that you used to be one soul with. And now that you are here on Earth, that's a very complicated relationship to navigate. What else does pile 3 need to hear that I've missed? Anywhere here? What else does pile 3 need to hear that I've missed? So many cards. We have arm. I'm hearing brother in arms in particular. We also have health at the bottom of the deck right here, which kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, that like if you don't make better choices for yourself, especially I'm hearing if you're smoking cigarettes, if you don't make better choices, that's just like really random, but that could just be a sign one of your guys is telling you to stop smoking cigs. Making better choices for yourself is really important right now, like for your health entirely. Also working on your jealousy if you're struggling with any sort of jealousy. Even if it's just like an old pattern of behavior. But yeah, I definitely think that you've struggled with feeling like just very hardened by life. And I think right now you have a choice on what you're going to choose. I think right now it's really important that you really unpack the lies that you've been told about power throughout your life, and really think more about power and how power affects everything in our world. Who has the power? Who does not have the power? What does power look like? And who has reinforced these ideas of power? Where does that come from? What lies have you been told about power, about where it lies? Lies. I'm thinking about Angels in America for some reason, specifically Mr. Lies, which is this hallucinated character by the character Harper. She's a Valium addict, and she hallucinates Mr. Lies, who is this like travel agent, and she's like always looking for like an escape from where she's living and the time that she's living in, because it's scary. I would highly recommend looking into Angels in America if that plot sounds interesting to you or means something to you in any way. It could mean that you're just trying to find an escape. I definitely think that you're feeling very scrambled right now. So any advice for pile 3 moving forward? Really delve into the spiritual. And I felt that for sure. I think that right now, more than ever, you need to dive into your spirituality. There's some cosmic truths you need to uncover, and I think that that's going to really solidify your self-love and your love for the world and the people around you. Oh my god, this is like crazy. We have Knight of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ace of Cups. I'm hearing specifically this line from Hamilton in like the story of Tonight, I think, right before Wait For It, where Hamilton goes, if you love this girl, go get her. What are you waiting for? And Burr's just like, see you on the other side of the war. And I feel like Spirit's asking you that, like, if you love this person or this thing, go get it. What are you waiting for? And like, you know, at the end of, we're not going to go into historical things, even though I am a history nerd, but I do really enjoy the musical Hamilton. And if you think about the end of Hamilton, like, Burr thoroughly regrets most of his decisions and lack of decisions. Like, the world was wide enough for both Hamilton and him, and in the end, it ended up with a situation that both of them regretted. And he actually did end up going for the girl and had a beautiful relationship with her up until she passed. So, like, I think that, like, Burr waits for it and waits for it and waits for it and doesn't ever really get what he wants, whereas Hamilton goes for it and frequently gets what he wants. And I think that, like, there's a message here about getting what you want, going for it, making the decision to get what you want. Let me clarify this. Can we get a clarifier card for this Queen of Wands? The Magician in reverse. You have the capability, it's just whether or not you choose to act on it. Because the Magician in reverse still has the capability to turn himself upright and be upright magician and, like, manifest what he wants and make the decisions towards what he wants out of life. But the Queen of Wands is just saying, like, this is in your hands. What do you feel confident doing? But we have the Lovers, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. Like, you have a very deep connection with someone or something, and you have the ability to go for it. I think you just need to communicate. You need to go for it. Take what you want, you know? Be an overflowing well of love. Oh my gosh. And the Ace of Swords. Genuinely go for it. The High Priestess. Like, oh goodness. I have to cover this so that we don't get, that's the High Priestess. Just trust. Her boobies are out, so I'm not going to show it, but that's the High Priestess. And we also, we got the King of Cups. You are full of love moving forward. Let yourself be full of love. Communicate. Make amends. make things right with the things and the people that you care about. You know, that's what you're being told to move forward. That's your reading, pile 3. I really hope this resonated with you, and I hope that it was helpful. If it was, please make sure to leave a comment, a like. Please subscribe. If you're interested in a personal reading, they are open right now. Please feel free to reach out to me over email. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you have a beautiful day.